Hello, everybody. My name is Jababu. I am the special guest on today's podcast.
Very good, Jababu. He's only 8 months old. See, we can train, we can make anybody a performer here. What happened? Chaos Podcast. I think Chaos Made Podcast.
Chaos Made, it's up there.
Right there, the sign. Welcome. So today I'm very to go into detail. And by me, I mean these two young, beautiful ladies, just on the outside of the teens, just climbing out.
Yeah.
And if you've watched some
adults.
of the young
Young adults, but look 15. Like children.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And what's funny is you say that we call it the YA market. And what I find interesting is they'll call the YA market from like 14 to like 30. I'm like, that's that's too broad. Yeah. So that being said, I have Valeria. And now as we put your name up. Yeah, come on, tell us.
Thank you so much for having me. I love you guys. So I'm just happy to be here.
I love you too. I'm so happy to have you here. This is so exciting.
I know. I've never done a podcast before. I'm like,
first podcast.
Yes.
First podcast.
Let's hope I don't mess it up.
This. I believe in you.
Yeah. And I think, for all of those that are watching, I have let me tell you what we've got here. We have two young ladies who started in the industry, when they were little kids and have grown up in the industry and have worked around the globe and from many different things, from the modeling to the acting to one of the reasons I said, hey, this is great. Let's get Valeria on here, and said, I want to talk about what she's become now in college and doing as you're the official brand of the school, the university.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wouldn't say all that. I mean, it's pretty cool. I'm an FIU content creator. I go to Florida International University. Pause up. I love my school. Basically, we just create content for our university, and, it's really cool. We get a lot of opportunities, meet a lot of cool people, and it's honestly really fun, and I've made some really good friends through it. I love it.
How'd you get in that position?
So actually, I had no idea it existed, but one of my friends who actually went to high school with me, she was in it when it first started. The program's only about 3 years old, 2 or 3 years old, I'm not sure. And she actually was the one who introduced me to it. And so when I started FIU, I was like, I want to do it. But the applications weren't open yet, so when they opened it, going into my sophomore year, I was like, I need to apply. But yeah, so that's how I got in.
And now tell us the journey.
Yeah, what does it entail?
It's really
What's
cool.
your position?
Honestly, it's just a content creator. It's not really anything super interesting. Honestly, we have kind of a set of, not rules, but kind of requirements throughout the month. So we're required to post about 2 reels a month and 3 stories throughout the week. Just basically promoting FIU. But the whole concept is promoting your own FIU experience. So whether that be you're a student who's living on campus and you're coming from, out of state and you're living on campus, or for example, my position where I live, I still live at home, and, I'm a commuter student. So I do a lot of that content, the whole process of, having to drive to my school, doing all that stuff, game days, very fun. So yeah, it's very, very fun. Honestly, I've made a lot of really great friends through it, and I think that's the best part for me.
And I think you're perfect for that. I've seen your reels and your stories. So cute.
It's very, very fun. I mean, yeah, and I think the coolest part also is people start to recognize you throughout campus. They'll be like, oh, because you get put on the Instagram for FIU and all this stuff. So some people will come up to me in my classes and they're like, wait, were you on the Instagram today? And I'm like, yeah,
I was.
That has happened to me 2 or 3 times already. In my math class, there was this kid that came up to me. He's like, were you on the Instagram today? And I was like, yeah, that was me. It's very cool though. It's it's like a little community that you built, and it's really fun.
But I'm going to circle back, because I think one of the things that a lot of people who are watching this, we have a crazy demographic all over, but the number one job, if you will, is everybody young wants to be an influencer.
Yes, it is. It's not for everyone. It's definitely a lot more work than people typically think it is. I started doing, content creation when I was, I can't even tell you the age. I was probably 14. I'm 20 now. So it was a very long time, probably 15. And it's definitely a adjustment. It's not for everyone. You have to deal with a lot of things that, you know, a lot of people in day to day are not dealing with. You have to deal with a lot of people, you know, sometimes putting you down or saying things that saying some very, you know, comments that are gonna drive you like, what the heck? And you have to kind of just deal with that. But there's also a lot of amazing things that come with it. I've been invited to amazing, you know, brand deals and, you know, different events that are honestly like worth it in the end. But it is definitely a lot of work. You have to put in a lot of work for it to actually, you know, work out in your favor. I've kind of gone through a lot of phases where I feel like I get unmotivated, and I feel like that's like the worst thing you can do, because, you know, for it to work out, consistency is key. And I am I go through consistent. She is not consistent, and she gets unmotivated. So I think that's like my biggest tip. Keep yourself motivated, plan out what you want to do, have kind of like a content calendar. A lot of my friends have, like, you know, they plan out what they want to do for the next couple months, and that really helps them. I should take my own advice, because, you know, it'd be like that sometimes, but I mean, yeah, I'm just telling you what I know. And I mean, that's definitely what works out the most. Consistency is key, and kind of just like blocking out all the negativity and just focusing on, you know, the benefits of it.
Yeah, and you also have a different, I wouldn't call you like your typical content creator, because I mean, we've known each other. I've known you since you were 15 and like doing what you were doing. It's different because you still are a model first. Like, you're model actor first, and then your content creation comes on the side.
Yes.
So you kind of have a different type of content. Yes. It was more, I wouldn't say, what would the word be? Not like professional, but it was a lot more brand oriented.
Yeah. So, I mean, when TikTok started, for example, when kind of that whole like influencer realm content, like, I wouldn't say influencer because that was already a thing before. I would say now content creator is more of a thing. I was doing Instagram before any of that.
Yeah.
So I've been on Instagram since like 2018, 2017. And that was kind of what helped me. I was never into the TikTok thing. I mean, I do it because it's there.
It's silly. It's fun.
It's fun, but it was never something that I took seriously. Instagram was always kind of that thing for me. And I feel like Instagram is definitely a more polished side of people. So it's, you know, Instagram, you can kind of, I mean, TikTok, you can be more, you know, yourself, all this stuff. Instagram is definitely a lot more polished. I say nowadays it's a lot more, you know, be yourself, all this stuff.
Casual photos.
But definitely back when it was starting and it was like getting big, it was very much like, you know, professional photos or trying to look your best or the editing and all that stuff. And so I kind of, you know, I came from that. So that's kind of the content that I like to create. I mean, stuff that's very polished and stuff that I'm proud of, but that also can get very difficult because I get very hard on myself, and I'm a very big perfectionist for that reason.
Yeah. I mean, especially being in the industry, I mean, there's like a small niche to the modeling industry when you're young, and Instagram is your portfolio. Like, you know exactly what I mean. Everybody's shooting with the same photographers. Everybody's doing the same. It's just making the rounds. Everybody's feeds look the same. So it's like
very hard to branch out from everyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been doing it for so long that, I mean, I've met some amazing photographers. I've shot with so many amazing photographers, and I've met so many amazing people. I mean, I met you guys through this. I mean, that's kind of just like I think that's the most beautiful thing through it. I mean, just the people I've met, the experiences I've made, that's worth it to me. And honestly, I don't think, like, literally just look at this beautiful picture behind us. This was literally taken in like 2020. I don't even. Yeah. Shout out to Jeannie.
Shout out Jeannie.
So I'm going to, because this is a perfect segue for talking about, that's Jade. When you guys, because we just were down that path of, like you said, and this was perfect timing of, hey, I'm in posting on Instagram. Now, when you're doing that, it's 100% you. Like you said, it's user-generated content. This is not that at all.
No.
This is right. And I want you guys to think about that, because, like, here you are, right? You've got a whole makeup crews, everybody there. There you are with, you know, there she is. I wonder who took these pictures.
I wonder.
And there's Jade.
Running behind the scenes over here. This is what happens when your dad knows how to work a camera quite well.
Yes.
And you are shooting.
Oh, yeah.
He's always there. He's always hopping in.
Or even hopping in.
Look how cute.
Aww, look at us. Shout out Ellie.
Shout out Ellie. Shout out
Ellie's
Ava
been
Rose.
on the podcast.
Ava,
yeah.
yes, Ava, Ellie. Hey guys.
Oh my gosh. Isn't that
cute.
insane? Like you
Wow.
think about these moments and like, look at you guys.
Oh my God. That's,
See, I had some secrets in here. Isn't that crazy?
wow, we were babies.
Ate that up.
We really did.
4+4, man.
My hair was so long. That's what I'm looking at.
But what's crazy is, and I'm covering is, I think people don't realize when you're not, you take stuff from a shoot where you may be, wait, let's back up. You're being directed, you have a whole crew, and you can leverage that when you're doing your own content and like a perfect, oh, look at that. Like, oh boy.
This is raw footage of me and Jade being.
Don't let
me
us
and
out
Jade.
together.
Yeah,
We
they're
are a dangerous duo.
100%. 100%.
What were
Yes.
we segueing?
We were segueing into the influencer side and then
course.
growing up in it, because I think a lot of people just approach it like you said, and they're like, I'm just going to take these really great pictures, and then they get very frustrated because they don't go anywhere a lot of time. You know what I mean? I'm
course.
just being real. And especially since the marketplace and you guys get it. So what advice, where do you, like a lot of young people who are watching this who are like, oh my God, I wanted to be a model. I've always wanted to, I follow you. Give us kind of
Yeah.
the journey from both of your sides. I know her. She's my daughter, and you're like
Yes.
my other daughter.
Yes.
You've been to the classes acting here. You've been to
Yes.
like we've been through it. So I
Of
know
course.
you for a while, and I'd love how you would explain it through your voices to people who are watching.
Honestly, for me, I mean, I've been doing this my entire life. It's literally all I know.
Yeah.
It literally is.
It's like, what is life without this? This is a
yeah.
huge part of me
This
as a
is-
person.
Exactly. Even if I choose to do something else in the future, like I know that this is a big part of who I am, and it's something that I'm very like blessed to have been able to do. But yeah, I mean, definitely if you want to get into it, like do it. I mean, it's definitely something that's even if you don't, I guess would become like successful, I guess, in that realm of like, I guess like being famous or whatever, all that stuff, or, you know, landing this amazing job. Like, I think for me, it was more just like, I've learned so much through it. Like, even now that I'm, you know, in college and I'm applying for internships and stuff, I've gotten so many interviews, and I know how to, like, you know, talk to people and have that kind of communication and not be super standoffish. And, you know, that's even just through like doing a simple slate, like, hi, my name is this, I'm this years old. That's
Exactly.
kind of, you know, prepared you for, you know, the real world. And I
Talking
think
with adults and stuff, and
Yes,
like
and
being
it's-
comfortable in in a workspace.
it makes you grow up a lot faster than everyone else, but
Definitely.
I definitely don't think that's a bad thing. I think maturity is very important. But yeah, I mean, definitely if you want to get into it, like, get into it. It's super fun. It's a great experience. Don't ever think that you're not enough to do it. Like, especially nowadays, there is a market for absolutely everybody.
That
like,
is so true.
there is something for everyone. You just have to want it enough, and you have to know who to ask and how to get it. And that's definitely the biggest thing. Connections, network, and that's what I'm learning in college. And there's your little college class for today.
There we go.
Network,
Professor
network,
Violet.
network,
Network.
and communicate with people. You know, use your words, but don't talk too much, because then you can get annoying.
Well, no. Hold on. On the podcast, you need to keep talking, because if there's dead air, people
You gotta
like
keep-
swipe.
You got to keep talking.
Yes,
yeah,
of course.
that's definitely, it's an interesting business. We were actually talking, Valeria and I went out for a little Starbucks
We did.
the other day. And we were talking
He's
about,
like, I was not even
I
there.
was not even.
no, he wasn't. Hold
Hold on.
Your invite got lost in the mail. I'm sorry.
happens.
Yeah, this
They're
was
like-
a girl's day.
Like, Dad, no. Valeria's probably like, hey, want to bring your dad? Like, but
But yeah,
Jade's like, no, it's my
we-
dad. I'm all good.
We briefly touched on growing up in the industry and how it, you know, matured us more than
Yes.
most people. And it's interesting. You learn a lot of different stuff. You learn a lot of people skills. One thing is you would really have to, I mean, you know this, you have to be very comfortable with people telling you no and taking criticism. That's a big thing, especially in the modeling side.
Yes. Growing up, I was more of a model than an actress than anything. I've been modeling since I was 18 months old. I still do.
Baby.
Yeah, like that's kind of more me.
But you did some great scenes in here.
Yes,
and acting.
I have. I mean, I love acting. It's very fun.
She's grown into her actress side.
Yes, that especially now, like I said, there's a market for everyone, and Vale is 5'2", so she cannot be doing all these big modeling stuff anymore.
It's heartbreaking, man. It really is.
It really is. So but like I said, there's a market for everyone, and in acting, being short and looking younger and being older is an amazing plus. So that's what I'm getting into now, and it's super great. I love it.
Exactly. You just worked a few fun jobs recently.
Yes, I did.
Some of your first adult roles. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
Disney.
Come on.
I shot a couple.
Come on, girl.
Tell everybody they want to know what's up.
I shot a couple commercials for Disney like a couple months ago, and it was very fun. Disney's great. I've never shot with them, but recently, I don't know why, they've been booking me a lot, and it's been really fun. I've been driving up to Orlando, and they're great. Honestly, like really, really great, like team and crew, and they're all super nice, and they treat you super well. And yeah, it was definitely a new experience because I mean, they always book me for like young, like daughter or older sister. Or
you
like
said it was a different experience.
And it was definitely a different yes, because they had me as a role of young adult, and I definitely could see kind of the change in how they, not necessarily treat you, but it was it's a more mature conversation. They don't have to kind of like sugarcoat everything because they're like, okay, yeah, like she knows what she's doing. Like they don't have to like stand there and
you're
get,
the
like,
daughter and you follow mom and dad.
You follow mom and dad.
And
like,
then you
okay,
point
like
at the fireworks.
Yeah, it was very much like for example, there was a lot of there was families there shooting with us as well, and little kids, and like they were super cute, and like the director would tell them like, oh, like hold this like lollipop and like walk around, and like he would literally just come up to me and be like, yeah, you're doing good. Like keep going, what you're doing. And I'm like,
you do what you do.
Like
I'm gonna leave you to it.
Like you're doing good. And so it was definitely a very different environment, and it was really cool. I mean, I've never really done anything adult yet, so that was definitely very cool. And yeah, I'm 20 now, so like I mean,
we're
been an adult for like 2 years.
What happened to us?
Literally been an adult for 2 years.
Gosh, I love it. I love it.
So scary.
Let me rewind this back real quick. Sound bites from both of you you're both very accomplished at a young age. And when I say that, you let me say it this way. And Jade, I don't know, I'm not going to be able to say it any better than Jade said. You grow up very fast in this industry.
Yes.
And it's funny because I've been on set and I have and I'm very blessed to have a bunch of young actors. And from the age of 12, they are just, they're thinking different. If you've been fortunate enough to be cast on set, and I think the parents sometimes really can get in the way and the heads of the kids.
Yes.
Give me advice. Give the parents advice and the kids and how that dynamic, because you're very blessed. You have great parents.
I was going to say, we've both been lucky to have good parents who aren't too overbearing, but they're there to help when you need them too.
I mean, my parents have always kind of been very like, if you don't want to do this anymore, like you do not have to. Like I said, I started very, very young. I did not have an opinion on like anything I was doing.
She was just too cute.
I was there for the ride, So, growing up, my parents were always like, if you don't want to do this anymore, like you do not have to. My dad, what am I saying? My brother, he did it when he was super young, and he didn't want to do it anymore, so he stopped doing it. It was that simple. But I always really loved it, and so that was kind of, how it was for me. But they've always been very, very supportive. I do it for myself, but I also do it for them because they've done so much for me to get me here. And, I don't want to, disappoint them. But it's very important that parents don't, also, I guess, get in the way or, make you feel like you kind of have to do something that you don't want to do. Like there's no one telling you that you have to do this or anything, honestly. And your parents should have to, have a balance.
Yes. And I'm sure we've both been on set with people who don't want to be there, and their parents are
the ones who are, it's their parents who want it more than anyone. And they're living through their child.
Yeah.
They're living through their child. And and you know, that's fine, but it's gonna get to the point where their kid's gonna
You're gonna
burn
break
out.
your kid.
The kid's gonna burn out, and then they're gonna be stuck because that's all they've known, and it's not what they want to do. So yeah,
Exactly.
so definitely don't burn your kid out.
Yeah,
You know,
it's rough. It's hard, and it's hard on a kid. And I don't think a lot of parents who are in the industry realize that, because you know, we were joking about our moms the other day. This is meant with so much love. There's a casting. There's an agency. I believe they're still there. Or maybe they moved. I don't know. Down on Ocean Drive. But Vale and I were talking about a very similar experience we had where...
Yes, and we didn't even know each other. I would do the same thing.
We were probably at every single casting together, but we didn't meet until
we have very similar features.
Exactly.
So we probably were casted for the same things. We were always at the same castings, you know.
We
but we
didn't
meet until like
15.
Yeah.
14, 15, something like that.
15.
Yeah. That's when we became friends. But I was like, how have I never seen you? Anyways, back to our story.
Sorry, we're very...
So it was down on Ocean Drive, and we would be like 8 years old. Mom would pull up to the front and be like, go walk in, sign yourself in, because sometimes these castings,
they would,
especially when you're little and you're doing like e-commerce stuff, no way.
Now luckily self-tapes have kind of made it way easier so that you don't have to stand in those ridiculous lines. But I remember when I was like 8 years old, the lines would wrap around the corner, and then it would be like parents that were like, you know, like leak the address of like these auditions, and then random people would just show up, and it was supposed to be a thing with like 30 people, and like 100 people would show up.
It was crazy.
And I half the time I would leave because I was like, there's no way.
No.
I was like, if they want me that bad, they can call. Like,
as a kid, you have to like learn how to present yourself and talk and be outgoing, because your mom is like, go sign in. I'm gonna go find a parking spot because there's so many people here.
Because I'm freaking Ocean Drive. There's no parking, so she would leave us at the door.
Okay,
and
I'm
be
in
like,
fourth
go
grade. I'm signing my name. I'm signing my height, my weight, my agency, my call
and
time.
this agency, they're not there anymore. So this is kind of funny. They're not there. I remember. Now. They're not there anymore.
Yeah.
They're
still in business.
But they're in Hollywood, I think.
They're
I
a
don't know
great agency. Yeah.
Love them.
Love.
And but yeah, they would leave us at the door and they'd be like, go sign in. And I'm telling you, this
if you see someone you know, wait with them.
Yes. And we would always
find your friends.
Go find your friends. And it would be like my friend's mom. And I'm like, oh my God, okay, you're my mom until my mom gets back.
Literally, bro.
Like, it was so bad. And I'm telling you, this little studio, this agency was minuscule. Like, not minuscule, but to hold a casting with
one
that
person
many
could
people,
fit up the staircase.
it was literally a staircase that was this big, and it was like a single file line going up, and it was like go
changing outfits. There was like one sliding fabric piece,
and then there would be like the meetings with our agent at the end. Be like, oh, like, I have new headshots, like, here, like.
Remember her desk of just the piles of people's photos?
Yes. That's not like that anymore. I miss that. That was peak childhood right there.
We really were in such a great time of the industry before.
I agree.
The
industry now,
I don't like it
it's
as
not
much.
as fun. It's really not as fun.
You don't have that adrenaline going into places and seeing
and meeting everyone, and it was honestly a big reunion every single time, because like it was always the same people at the same castings. So yeah, it was, and we had a lot of mutual friends. Again, I don't know how we didn't meet until we did.
You guys just brought such a great memory to me, which was, and Jade will know this, and he's sitting behind the camera, and I'm glad we have a camera, is when you guys would go into Marquee.
And
they had the poster of PBS, the Kids Stew, and Luke, and
Marquee was like Disney casting.
Yes.
Everybody would be at Marquee.
Yes.
It was all of us.
I remember. I mean, I didn't do a lot of Disney castings when I was little, but recently I did a bunch of Disney castings, but I did do one where I remember I had the actual casting, and then I drove to Orlando. I drove back, and then I think a couple days later was like the fitting. I had to drive there. I drove back, and then I booked it, and then I drove back and drove back, and Orlando is 3.5 hours away, and I love my mom too. Like shout out to Alicia. She is my queen. She is my Uber driver, my manager, my everything. I love her. Like, poor girl.
Your mom's amazing.
Poor girl. Love her.
Poor girl.
She's been through so much.
My dad's great too.
You got great parents.
I love them. But yeah, my mom would. I honestly owe it all to her. Like, she has done so much for me, and even just having like to drive me everywhere. Like,
it
was a lot of driving.
Wait, so hold on. That's a great point, because both of you, I know the answer to this one, but I want to ask you, And it's great because very few people even know this. So I would say you're kind of top of the game, right? You've been doing this for many years since you're a kid, and you're now doing influencing, and you're at multiple agencies.
Experienced.
Lots of experience.
Seasoned.
I'm going to say, think about this for a minute. Your parents, this is for all you parents out there and you kids. Your parents have probably spent more on gas and time than you've made in the industry.
That is
100%.
so true. 100%.
100%.
I remember it was a job that I booked. It was like my highest high and my lowest low at like 13 years old. I was sobbing. Anyways, whatever. We had to go drive to Nashville, and I did this audition. And I had to go drive to Nashville, which from where we were, what was it, 15 hours, I think? 15-hour car ride. So I'm road tripping, mom, brother, we're meeting dad in Nashville. So we get to Nashville. My mom gets a call. They're like, hey, we need her back tomorrow for a fitting.
Oh my God.
So
you drove back?
She literally slept for 4 hours, packed me in the car, and we drove all the way back 15 hours for the fitting.
That reminds me of my Disney shoot that I recorded like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago. I was going to take the Brightline up. Thank God for the Brightline now because, that's great. But my mom was like, oh no, like I'll drive you, whatever. So she drove me all the way to Orlando at 4 in the morning. My call time was at 4 in the morning. Disney, I love you guys, but can we fix those call times?
They are so early for why? For why? You're sitting there, you're cold, you're waiting, you're freezing. I did a pool shoot when I was little. They were like wrapping me in 5 towels.
40 degrees. I have a story.
Like 40 pounds. I'm like a little kid. I'm like shaking.
It was 40 degrees. I have a story about that, but it was 40 degrees and she drove me. We got there. We left my house at around 1 in the morning and I got there at 4. And she was like, I'm going to be waiting the whole day. I was shooting for 2 days. I was going to stay up in Orlando. And she was like, I'm going to go home. So she literally drove me there at 4 in the morning, didn't sleep, drove all the way home in one day. Like literally dropped me off and went home. And I was like,
gosh,
this poor woman, literally like a month and a half ago, I was like, she texted me that she was leaving. I was like, what do you mean? Like,
what do you mean you're leaving?
Take a nap. Like, you didn't sleep.
Please.
But she literally, she stopped at Dunkin' Donuts. She chugged the coffee and she took it like a champ.
Aw.
She's so sweet. I love her. But yeah. No, speaking of like being freezing and wearing a bikini, like oh my God, I have a story that I shot with a brand. And this never aired, if I may add.
No.
They never do. I was, I shot this, whatever. And it was a trampoline. I had to shoot on a trampoline. And they were splashing water on me. It was like one of the coldest days. I think it was like 35 degrees. I was in a bikini. I was 8 years old. I was like 6 or 8 years old. I'm not sure. They were splashing water on me, like full on like buckets on me. And they were like, okay, be happy, smile. My mom was like, because like on set, like they have to be like far away. They can't like, you can't be.
They put the parents in their corner.
Yeah. So it was, the child wrangler, like they're always on set. The poor, like they would literally have to like wrap me in a towel. I turned purple.
Oh,
I turned purple.
babe.
It was so bad. That was probably my worst experience ever.
Wait. You mean how cold this was? Do you know how cold?
This water, Malibu water.
Go ahead and talk about it.
Malibu water.
Malibu water.
Oh my God.
We love Jeannie so much. Shout out Jeannie again. We were shooting for like some little tops that she was doing. And she's like, I want you guys to go
get in the water.
Misbehaving.
Misbehaving. I think it was literally like 20 degrees.
It was. I couldn't feel my feet.
I was
and I was the one who went in first.
Yeah.
I went in first.
I said, go in the water. I get the camera.
Vic's like, oh no, get in the water. Like, it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, it's going to be cold because it was already cold outside. I was like, it's going to be freezing.
Right, it was.
He's like, no. You got this. Go. I'm like, okay. The face I
know.
made,
I was looking for the picture.
Yeah.
The face I made when I got into the water.
And of course, I'm like, what are you talking about? My foot hit, and I'm like, oh, get out of the water. Get out of the water right now.
We're not doing this.
We're
calling the
done.
shoot.
We're calling the shoot.
Wrap
I'm
it
not
up,
like,
everybody.
and that's why he's up there on the mountain. I'm like, Luke, go up to the top, get the shot.
I think if you zoom in close enough on those photos, you can see the goosebumps on our arms.
Yes,
maybe.
probably.
Probably, yeah.
I
Oh
don't
my
know.
God, you girls.
Yeah, it was chilly
so
for
cold.
sure.
Yeah. And so on a sidebar, I'll let you know, I wish I could say it gets better. You made me flash back. This is years ago. God, this is 10 years ago. So this is back when there's a food chain that did a calendar called Hooters, and I shot the two. There was three photographers, and I was one of them. And we had 35 girls, all in their early 20s. And hold on, this was on the other coast of Florida. Windstorm kicking up.
No.
The west coast of Florida it gets cold.
40 degrees. Bathing suit. One day we all had to get out there. I had two
Oh my God.
I had two PAs with me who were covering me because I'm trying to shoot. We had the girls wrapped in the hotel robes, all lined up like the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, literally we had teams and they're like, okay, now take the robe off.
Yes.
And everybody's like,
one thing.
and then you're like frozen and put the robe back on. And I'm
Oh
like,
my
and
God.
I'm
If
freezing as
there's-
the photographer. I'm like shaking. I'm like, click.
If there's literally one thing you have to know about the industry, it's they will never shoot in the correct season.
I was about to say that.
They will literally never shoot in the correct
You
season.
were shooting your winter catalogs
in
in
bikinis.
in 100-degree heat in South Florida winter. Who's buying winter clothes in South Florida? Well, I mean, obviously it goes to other states and whatnot, but
the one day that it's like 40 degrees is when they decide to put me in a bikini.
yeah, they're like, all right, everybody, beach shoot.
I'm like,
Okay.
I'm
Call
like,
time 4 a.m. It's extra cold. It's windy.
I'm like, yeah, no, and we are Floridians. Like, we are not adjusted to that
No.
cold weather.
How about when you
It's
did the thing,
bad.
because you just made me think of call time. I remember when you were shooting in China and we were doing on the cruise and you were in there and they had 3 people on makeup. Poor Jade. She's like, and filming all night, and they're like, and you guys are sitting
Oh
in
my
the
gosh,
chair.
no, the call times for that were crazy. It was like 5 and we would be wrapping at like 10 p.m.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hours.
You've done
Is that
cruise.
even-
You've done a cruise job.
I did do a cruise job. That was very fun. That's forever gonna be my favorite job. I've ever done.
I was gonna say, like, there is a really special place in my heart for cruise jobs.
It's the funnest
They're
thing.
the best.
They're-
Like, you
it's-
cannot get better than
No,
that.
you really can't. And I shot. It wasn't even. It was a cruise, but it was more just like a really big yacht. More than anything, it was for the Galapagos. So they flew me. Yeah, that was honestly like a dream come true.
Right.
They flew me out to the Galapagos, and that's honestly an experience that a lot of people don't get.
Yeah.
because
yeah.
and so. Yeah, we shot on this cruise. Honestly, it was kind of sad. We didn't get to be much on the island. We were on the cruise the majority
That's
of the time.
thing you don't get to go on islands.
But we shot on this cruise, and let me tell you, it was like so much fun because we shot this before the yacht even opened to the public, so it was just us and the crew, and it was so much fun. Like, we would eat like underground where like the actual crew of the ship would
That's
eat. Like,
fun.
it was really, really cool. It was very like I guess backstage access of
Very
like
unique
yeah,
experience.
very unique experience. And then the last day we were able to get off the boat and see tortoises, and that was very fun. And the iguanas and the blue-footed boobies. Is that what they're called? Boogies? The blue-footed.
I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
no idea what
they're
you're
like
talking
these. I think we
Luke,
should pull
can
them
we,
up. They're
Luke's shaking his head. He's like,
they're
Luke, what
these
did she say?
birds.
Play that back.
They're white. They're white birds with blue feet.
Oh, that's cute.
They're so cute.
Luke knows everything. Do you know? Can we confirm?
They are. No, they're
I have no clue what she's talking about.
guys. I'm not lying. They're a thing. Search it up. Search it up. It's a real thing. They're the color of your beard.
We'll
What?
pull up a picture.
Oh, I need one then.
We'll throw
I have
one
to- I
up
have to-
on the screen.
I think.
All
I
right,
think
Luke,
we
text
should.
me so I can pull this up. Let me see. Oh, I'm still in your. Anyway,
Oh, look, it's me again.
okay, so so I'm wrapping that one up and saying, everybody who wants to be in it, and you guys have put the time in and how hard this business is, and the money that you have to invest.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the parents and all that sort of stuff. And like you said, in the support, where I'm going with this is to say, what drives both of you to still love the business? Is it what you're talking about? Like, what is
That's a
the...
good question.
That is a great question. It's something I've been doing my whole life. I also, fun fact, I've been playing tennis also my entire life since I was 6 years old. So, my parents invested a lot into me, aside from the industry, also tennis is not cheap. And so, I mean, definitely for me, I love it, honestly, more than anything. Like, I've always been a very social and bubbly person, and I love people. And I feel like this is a very big like people person industry.
100% would agree.
And that's like my biggest thing. I love talking to people. I love meeting new people. I love meeting people from like literally all over. I would shoot all the time, like people like with companies from like Germany, Italy, and they would always come and they would teach me like little words in like different languages, and like I find that really fun and fascinating. So I mean, yeah, just like meeting new people, getting to know new cultures, stuff like that. Like I find that really interesting, having different experiences and opportunities, even if it's something that I probably won't pursue for the rest of my life. It's definitely given me a really good foundation for something that I plan on doing. I'm studying marketing. It's very in the same realm. And yeah, I mean, having social media, having grown up with like doing acting, doing modeling, it gets you, it prepares you for like a lot of things.
Both views.
A lot. Yes, exactly. And it prepares you for a lot, even if you decide to do a completely different, work in a completely different industry. This is, people skills. Exactly. You can use that in anything. So I think it's really good. And I love it.
I love it as well. And it definitely is. Like, the more we say it, it is like, I don't know. It's like going to school almost. Like, you always remember your teachers, your classmates. You remember what sorority or frat you're in or your high school. Like, this is who we are. This is also our job.
Yes.
Like, we do this. This is a huge part of my personality. I don't know what I would really be doing without this, in a sense,
Yeah, it's like
huge.
it's a piece of you that's always going to be there, even if you decide to branch off into something completely different. It's still going to be a part of you, no matter what. And I think that's really important, and I think that's really like beautiful, because it's like, you made so many memories, and like
I don't know.
Great
I don't know what
friendships.
it would be like going into it now, though. I don't know that feeling I've never known that feeling.
Of being like, I want to do this.
Yeah.
It's just been like,
it's been there.
I've always done it.
This is a thing that I do. This is so normal to me. So it's kind of hard to say what makes you love it so much or have that urge. It's
kind of
you.
like, it's the norm, It's like.
Yeah. But I do love it.
Yes.
It's amazing. Likewise, I love the connections and meeting people. And
it's really fun. Honestly, it's a job that feels, like
I couldn't picture myself
playground.
doing something else.
It's like a really big, like it's a playground. Like you're getting paid to have fun and literally just like, just stand there and have fun. Like that's what it is. And literally growing
up,
work, though.
It's not all fun.
It's definitely not all fun. You will be, freezing half the time.
You will be rejected a lot
of the time.
But
you definitely
the rejection in modeling is.
Yes.
I want to jump in on that because Jade just gave me with
segue
it. For all you watching, this is the moment you need to know, because if you're getting in or you've already been in it, sometimes you're very hot, just like we heard Valeria's booking a bunch of Disney now. But then you watch all the girls you're going out against who are getting cast and they're booking.
That's
and they're
true. And when it's your friends.
Go ahead, because I've watched it where Jade's like booking everything, go ahead.
Happens.
And you're like, I hate her, and then you meet her, I'm like, I love her, and then you're booking, and come on, share this.
It's so funny because what I've noticed is for each specific company that's kind of, we all book for the same things.
I know the companies. You don't even have to say it.
They choose specific, for example, for us, girls, for like a couple years, and those are the girls that they use for those couple years, and they have castings for honestly no reason, because they pick the same people.
Why are you casting? It's the same.
And I've been in that position. You have been in that position.
Exactly.
But I'm like, I look at it and I'm like, why did I even go to a casting? Because I'm like, sometimes it's so pointless, because it's like they book the same people all the time.
You show up and they know your name. They're like, oh my gosh, hi, so nice to see you again.
Yeah, and then it's like, okay. Like, and then they book you, and then it's like, okay, like, and then they keep booking you, and then you go through a period where they recycle and they use new people. Yeah. And it's, you kind of like, for example, growing up, I would always work with like this company. I was working with them for like a lot, like probably 6 years, every single year. And every time they came, they would book me, and it would be super fun. And then also like I outgrew them and stuff, but it's just so crazy how much like they just don't recycle their people. But it's like that.
Yeah, it is.
And it's honestly really fun, because like, they don't recycle the people, so you make really good friends. And
But luckily, I've never been a person who has deliberately been jealous of somebody.
Yes, me
especially
either.
because I have so many friends in the industry down
Yeah.
here, and it's a very small industry.
Very
so
small.
it's like when you see your friend book something, you're like, oh my gosh,
God.
I'm so happy it's one of my friends that booked it.
Yes, and not some random stranger who just started like a week ago.
Yeah, but it is funny going into auditions and be
Yes.
like, yep, I know you're gonna book this. Like,
Yeah.
good luck. I'll
and it's
see you
so
shoot it
it's,
later.
It's
you know?
so funny because it's at the end of the day, it's they're looking for what they're looking for, and you'll go into the audition and me, brunette, green eyes, then the girl next to me is completely different features, and I'm like, and then the girl next to her is a completely different feature. Like 5 girls that got the callback, for example, and they're all completely different. So at the end of the day, it's like, okay, what look are they looking for?
Yeah, because they have a look.
Yes.
It's
and
not about you.
It's never about you. Well, to get to the callback point,
Yes.
sure. But at the end of the day, if you're not what they're looking for look-wise, or, I mean, whatever-wise, if, for example, if you're shooting with a family, if you do not look like the family,
That's a big thing.
Oh, Jade,
yeah.
what about that?
Shooting with a family. What specific story am I talking about? Oh, this story. This one really. I said I didn't get jealous.
I've died.
This is one. I think you might have known this. So my family gets this really cool audition
Right.
for this whatever travel thing. Visit Florida,
Europe,
not visit
yeah.
Florida.
Whole week
whatever.
long shoot.
Whatever it is. They go
that's
down
really
to the
cool.
Keys. They go on boats. They go bowling. They go ice skating at the bougie place.
Jetpacks in the
down
water.
and on the beach, the one with all the lights and stuff, the ice skating rink, whatever. They're doing all this really cool stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, this shoot is gonna be so fun. I'm so excited. We book it, but
All of you as a family?
except for Jade, because
No.
Jade didn't look white enough.
You're kidding.
I didn't look white enough, so they booked a blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl, and they called her the Jade replacement. So I had to stay home. I was pressed. I was like 12, I think.
That's
I
so
was
messed up.
I was so pissed, bro. I
But
was at
that's-
home
but
for
that
the
is-
whole week,
That's so stupid.
and they were sending me photos. They're like, "We're having so much fun." I was like, "Yeah,
Good for you.
great, good job. I'm glad you
But
guys."
that is very true. Jade looks like an outsider with her family.
When her and I are together,
No, you guys look alike.
We look alike.
But
Then
you
when you
and
put
Luke-
but Luke's obviously blonde, blue-eyed,
But
Jade's
Luke
green.
looks like you.
Like we're in the, yes. So we both, and then my wife Stacy with
Stacy.
the blonde hair. So they go, your dad, because you can't tell what my hair color,
Yeah, of course.
right? It was dirty blonde when
and it was European, so they wanted like white family.
Yeah, because it was a I don't even remember. It was a bank, and it was like
Yeah,
if you, it was a
Norwegian,
bank,
right?
something
No.
like that. But it was like if
Whatever.
you won the lottery, what would you do? And they're like
course.
a week in Miami.
Yeah.
So we got to do what you would do if you won a week, and I was so excited because it's like and then they're like so
Yeah,
they got
she's
this
not
like
white enough.
super blonde, blue eyed, and I felt like here you are, you're like. So that's what I mean. You guys have to grow up quick because as a dad, I'm like, listen, you know what I mean? Like you have to, but then as like the business side of it, and it's just
It's
such
work. It's business.
Yeah, it's like,
You know?
okay, suck it up. Next.
You
job.
applied for a job and you didn't get the job.
Yeah.
Move on.
And
Next job. Keep it
I
going.
honestly, I feel like I can handle a lot of rejection now because of it.
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't take things personally. I know that at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about what the client wants, and if I wasn't what they wanted, I'll be someone else. Like,
So how does that translate to the people that are following you on social media? Gives you a thick skin?
I was gonna say it also goes into the creator thing. I think that's a big difference between like Instagram models and traditional models is
Yes.
they don't have that experience of having that rejection, because I mean a lot of brands, when you are doing content creation, modeling content creation, the brands are coming to you. They're asking you specifically, like,
Yes.
hey, I want you to do this. They're not having to apply themselves.
go to castings,
and
go
then
to all this stuff.
Be told no.
Yeah.
It's a very
different world. Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like people can get very conceited and sometimes.
Yes.
And it.
We're whispering.
I don't know. It's just like, people think they're on top of the world sometimes, and I'm like, okay, like, it's just, and what gets me a little bit, mad sometimes is where it's just,
She's pressed.
it's not even that. It's like, a lot of people, for example, that want to become, I guess, Instagram models, they don't understand, I guess, the value behind it. the work, the time that goes into actually doing it. A lot of people will be Instagram models, but then will get invited to an actual photo shoot and they're very stiff and don't know how to pose and don't know how to act in front of a camera because the person who's taking their picture they're super comfortable with, but now it's a random person they don't know and they get very stiff and don't know what to do. So I think that there's a very, very strong difference between, doing content and, because a lot of the content you're doing it on your own.
You're not on a set. You're not working with other people most of the time.
And you kind of, you don't break that shell of being like, oh my God, I'm like, Also, Vic puts me on the spot all the time during acting classes. He was like, go do something. I'm like, I don't know how to, I don't want to. But, that's very important. Coming out of your shell.
Pushing you out of your comfort zone.
Just
and what you just said. Yeah.
Turning it on. I spoke about this recently, but you know what it's like? It doesn't matter if you're freezing and you have buckets of water on you. You have to jump on that trampoline and you smile.
You smile.
And you are having a great time. Even though you are turning purple, you are having the best time of your life.
The best time of your life, yeah.
Yeah, you just got to put it on, man.
You got to, and you have to put on this, sometimes it's a fake smile, but it's a smile. And that's all that matters. And you have to honestly just fake it till you make it is what, that's my life motto. If I don't know what I'm doing half the time, which is, half the time,
pretend like you know what you are.
No, but it's true. And I love the perspective that you guys are bringing to this. I'm no lie. This is so good because I think you're giving out so many great nuggets to young girls that'll be watching this, followers, and people that understand that it is not... everybody sees that one picture for a second. Maybe they look at it for 3 seconds. And how long did it take you
to do it? No, and another thing, just with like modeling, actual modeling in general, a lot of the times you'll spend an entire day shooting, an entire day, and half those photos never get released, or they pick one photo and it's like the worst one that they could pick. And you're looking at it like, there was so many better ones, but it's okay. Like,
no, I get it. It's
and you'll spend, and that's the same thing also with commercials. I like to. My mom and I have a joke that I'm called Mike Wazowski because I don't know if you've ever seen Monsters Inc. But there's a joke that Mike Wazowski is always hidden. Yes. And so that's my mom and I's joke because in every commercial that I'm in, either you see the back of my head. Yes. Either you see the back of my head or I'm just not there.
Yeah. We shot, when was that? Was that 2022
I think
or 23?
that was like April, March of last year.
Yeah, we did it was for, well no, it was early because it was Super Bowl.
Oh, January.
Yeah,
probably.
so we did it was a Super Bowl spot. They filmed it down here in Miami, which is rare. It was a Doja Cat.
It was so fun.
What was it for?
She was so funny.
It was for some
I think
something.
It was Samsung, right?
Yeah.
Google. My fault.
Luke.
Google.
Yeah, so
the voice came in. Hello, God.
Yeah, so we did a little Doja Cat commercial with Google Super Bowl stuff. It was fun. It was a really cool experience.
It was fun. Like forget the commercial. We met Doja Cat. Like that's
exactly.
all that matters.
Like,
I was literally like when she came, I was literally, me and Jade were like,
I think either we texted each other or something, or I just saw you on set, whatever. I was like, I'm so happy we are experiencing this together.
Yes, and we're both such big fans. And
it was good. But going back to the hidden thing, could not see us.
Yeah.
At all. It's okay.
But you know what? We were there in spirit.
We were there. We know we were there.
I know I was there.
But what's really funny, low-key, I'm a huge Doja Cat fan, and Jade called me up. She was like, she is so nice.
She's so sweet. Genuinely one of the sweetest celebrities I've seen on set.
So, like, she's so down to earth and so funny.
She came checking on all of us. Yeah. She's like, hey guys, how you feeling?
Guys, like, she would come up to us. She gave, like,
somebody her
shout
chair.
Out. So much love. Wait. See, I'm doing my love.
Oh, you're doing your love.
Love for Doja Cat. No, I was like, because I'm big fan of hers.
She gave somebody her chair. They were like, she was just so chill.
She was so sweet. So sweet. And so funny. Like, she was so unserious. And I love that.
It was great.
It was so funny. We were standing for like 6 hours straight. But you know what? It was worth it.
It was worth it.
It was worth it.
Good stuff. It's not always working.
It's not always beauty, but you know what?
Some celebrities are also not the best on set either.
Yeah.
I've had other experiences with other people. Not cute.
Okay.
Not directly to me, just the situation.
Right.
You know, some of them are a pain.
It'd be like that.
It's very nice to see somebody be just genuine.
She was really, really sweet. Honestly, I was expecting her to be like very like but she was so nice.
You know what? And that's it. This industry is so interesting because it's all about people and personalities. And Jade and I, during COVID, we wound up getting cast because they obviously they know me and Jade. Well, they know Jade and then they know me. And who was
I'm not a nepo baby, people.
No, far from it. Far from it. No, they've earned it on their own. They've actually earned it in spite of me. Quite honestly, I think I've got more gigs from them than the other way around. Actually, 100%. But but the reason I bring this up is she got cast for Azuna. Azuna.
I remember that.
Did you do that audition?
I did do that.
We stole that from you, Carla.
How could you?
And what was so funny is they literally were like, I got a call from her agent, goes, they want you too. I'm like, me? And they're like, yeah. And they're like,
that commercial was so cute.
But it was so funny because they're like, you're an actor. And I felt, of course, I know the agent, and they were reaching out, and they were like, they were feeling out, and they're like, can you bring some emotion? I'm like, I was at the Actors in New York, right? And I'm like, I can give you whatever you want. And type of thing. And she's like, thank God. And she's like, hold on. So they call the producer, blah, blah, blah. And they're like,
so we're on set or whatever, and they were talking, and then he ends up like shedding a tear in the commercial.
the one perfect tear.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they were like,
wow.
Yeah.
They were like, oh my God.
Can't bring my dad anywhere. He steals the show every time. I
As
get
he
him these
should.
gigs, and then he shows me up.
facts.
That's so funny.
I'm using them to get me all the work.
As
Nepo
you
baby.
I'm the Nepo. Yeah, how do you say that? Nepo dad?
Nepo dad, yeah.
Nepo dad.
Yeah, I'm totally riding on my kids in your cloud. Everybody around.
All the time, he just uses all of us.
That's how it facts.
How could he?
Well, I've got about 3 quick ones. Obviously, what's the future hold? We'll come back to that. Followed by acting class.
Oh.
Okay.
Best moment.
Oh.
Oh, wow. Chipotle. I'm kidding.
No. Do you remember when we would do this? Hold on. Remember when it was set up? Like the wall was over here.
Oh my God.
And we had to go and sit like on each other's laps
Yes.
and do that scene. That was
a lot.
who are you with?
I think I was with Jada.
You were with Jada?
No, I wasn't.
No, I was paired boy
You did
and girl.
boy girl. So you were either with
Oh my God, that thing.
I was with Christian.
I was with Jordan. Yes, I was with Jordan. Shout out Jordan. Shout out Christian. Shout out everyone, honestly.
Shout out guys.
For all of you that
was so uncomfortable. Why would you make us
He
do
made us
that?
do some weird stuff.
So here's
Yeah.
why. Because as you guys learn on set, right?
Oh my God, that was
and
so-
the book.
oh my God.
So you'll turn around and somebody's doing a scene, and it's so easy, right, to
Yeah.
get up and go tell everybody. But once you're in that moment and somebody's this close and you're shooting, come on, go ahead.
The thing is, okay. I mean, in general, that's just a very awkward situation.
And also, when
But
people are shooting, though, you have to be a lot closer because the camera
the
makes
angle,
it look like
you're further away.
conversation could
so
look
you
like
literally have to be like this close to
close.
someone, and so that's what he made us do for this specific exercise. And Jordan's like he's like he's like a brother to me. So
yeah,
I'm
we're
like,
all like siblings.
Yeah,
There's no
there's-
romantic interest
at
anywhere
all.
here.
And even if there was, it'd still be very weird. So I was like, it was like, I'm telling you, it was literally like this close. And I was literally like, but I was trying not to die laughing.
Yeah.
It was so awkward. And
It was
but
a-
you know what? At the end of the day, it came out.
Yeah, it was a
worked
learning
out.
experience.
It was a
to
learning
be
experience. But
comfortable
literally,
in an awkward moment
like
like
I can
that.
do that with Jade. But when,
Yeah, it's
because me and Jade have there's no
There's history.
yes.
yeah,
We're like we live in the same bubble, so it's fine.
exactly.
But no, it was very uncomfortable. But I feel like that's very important. Getting out of your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Breaking down some
preferably with someone
walls.
that I don't know, so it's not as awkward. Because I feel like it's more awkward when someone you know
That's
and you're so
true.
close to that
Yeah.
it's like because you just start die laughing.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Like if you're still with because there's also that friendship there. If you're working with somebody you don't know, it's just like okay, work
we're
mode.
just work mode. Yeah,
We're just you're my
like
coworker.
yeah,
Let's
like
just do the thing.
Yeah, of course. I feel like that's also like like doing it with so many like I guess families and being in families and stuff. Like it's always like, oh, my work husband,
Yeah.
my work mom, like my work mom. Like I
Yeah.
see it the same way. I'm like, oh, okay, like for this day, like she's my mom.
Yeah.
Like, she's my mom. And so like I would always, and I I still talk to a lot of the people who played my parents, or played my siblings.
I saw somebody who played my mom today in an audition. I was like, oh my gosh, hi, reunion. It's been like 10 years.
Yes,
That is absolutely fact. Yes. Today.
It was cute.
and it's very fun. So yeah.
And talking about that, the Luke went, and as a parent, you have to let go. He drove himself to the audition today. I didn't even know.
I don't think he's letting go of that anytime soon. I've done it a bunch. You've done it a bunch, I'm sure.
I drove myself today.
Yeah.
To a callback, and I was literally like, I drove from FIU all the way to Wynwood.
Yeah, she had a day.
I had a day.
Oh,
Very long drive, but it's okay. I made it back, and that's all that matters.
It's an interesting mental transition because then we're so close with all these casting directors down here and everybody down here. So when you show up without your parents, they're like,
oh my god, today,
like you're a big kid now.
Today, my
aren't you still
the people who were running the casting today are some of my dad's really good friends. Just like family friends. My dad's worked with them before, but they're like family friends that I've known since I was
We're like parallel.
6.
Like we are the same person, just
so
slightly different.
I've known them since I was 6, and today was the first time they've like seen me appear at a casting driving by myself, and they were like, "Where's your mom?" And I'm like,
I'm my own mom now.
I drove myself, like, and then they were like, "Oh my god!" And they were freaking out for a bit, and I found that kind of funny. Going back, I never answered your question. My favorite part of acting class, I don't know. I mean, I hate improv. I'm very bad at it, but I loved it with Vic because he made it fun and he made me do it, which is important because I hate improv, but it's so important. So, I mean, like, this is improv right now.
Yeah. We had a good safe space, though. We had a very comfortable space where we all felt comfortable failing in.
Yeah,
or not failing, but not always being perfect.
I will never forget. Shout out to Luke, his monologue that he would do every class. And I was so proud of him when he finally, like, nailed it. I was like, oh my God. I think I almost, like, cried. It wasn't even sad, but I was like, I was so proud of him.
Okay, first off, thank you so much. I know how busy you are between college and all this sort of stuff. She is. But I really love that everybody's watching this for some crazy reason. We're giving out really good nuggets. And what I think the most important thing right now is between social media and so many people, it's so easy to swipe and look and all this sort of stuff. I want you to take a moment of, you guys have grown up in this world of electronic social media, self-tape, like we're talking about. Take a moment and tell me what advice you would give to yourself, another girl, how to deal with all of the comments and just different things, because you've both been on so many sets and you like what, I don't want to, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, of course. I think for me, honestly, I just kind of try and not think about it as much as I, not that it gets me. I think the positives outweigh the negatives. There is a lot of things with social media that can get, overbearing, creepy. Very creepy. But you know what? Those are things that how I feel about it is those are things that happen in the world. Whether you are just walking across the street and someone decides to say some disgusting comment, it's not any different than someone just saying that to you online. So how I take it is just kind of deal with it. Not even deal with it, but you know what I mean.
Like, I know exactly what you mean. Just kind of, okay, you saw it, forget about it, or do your best to forget about it. Know that it doesn't define you.
Exactly. I've kind of gotten to the point where I'm just like, I look at like certain comments and I'm just like, okay, like moving on. Like
keep it going.
How I honestly look at it is like kind of just be like, okay, like like laugh at it and just like move on. Like take the positives out of it. And there's so many more positives than like negatives with social media, with our industry. And it's changing so much recently. And I think just the main thing right now is to try and, catch up with the wave.
Yeah. It's changing a lot.
It's changing a lot. Just, catch up and adapt.
Yeah. And, we kind of have a need to be on social media, even it's not like you really have a choice. At least, you can do to each their own. But
of course,
social media is your brand. This is you. This is your profile. This is your LinkedIn. This is how people know you. This is
Yes,
you
like,
build your persona. And
yeah, and I feel like once you start on social media, that's kind of already who you are. I mean, whatever you put is there. So, like, for example, a lot of people, when you search up their name, the first thing that's going to pop up is their LinkedIn. That's that's a known fact. But for people that are on social media, it's the first thing that pops up is their social media platform.
yeah,
And
most likely
Instagram, or, you know, maybe their, I don't know, their Twitter. I don't
yeah.
but
X.
yes, their ex. And but yeah, the majority of the time it will be their Instagram, and that is going to define you in every way, shape, or form. So how I see it is never post anything that you wouldn't want, you know, like someone to think negatively of. You know?
And my friend
respect yourself.
yeah, respect yourself. Respect yourself on social media. Set some boundaries for yourself. You know, just know what you want to be out there forever, because it is out there forever.
Yes.
My friend and I, whom you know, have a joke. She says she posts and then she literally throws her phone across the room.
Yes.
Because it stresses her out that much to post on social media.
I don't care at all.
I don't care. I don't care at all either. You post it and then whatever.
Yeah. How I see it is just, you know, it's for me and for you, it's kind of become a part of our brand, a part of, you know, who I am. It's, you know, become a job.
Today's world, and I'm going to say this, you know, we're finding out all the toxicity around social media.
Yes.
Hugely toxic. However, the sad part is you guys have to be in it.
Yeah.
And
that's what I was going to say. That's how you make your connections.
Yes.
I was talking to you about someone recently. I was like, hey, did you shoot with whomever?
Yes.
Should I reach out? Was it good? Like, and you reach out through Instagram. You reach out through these platforms that you have mutual people on. That's how you build your network.
Yes. And that's how you also know if people are kind of legit.
Exactly. Without having that in person, like we were mentioning earlier, you need social media to branch out and meet like-minded people.
Also how I see it also, because, you know, a lot of people will reach out and try and work with me and stuff, and you have to be very careful who you trust.
That is true.
There are some very, you know, sketchy people online, so just
do your research. If you're a model getting into the industry, and you just be careful.
Be very careful. There are some really, you know, not great people out there that, you know, are not there for the right intentions.
Yeah, background check. Photographers.
Yes, especially photographers. They can literally get photos from anywhere, so just be very careful. A lot of photographers will have a website. If they don't have a website, maybe, you know, starting to be a little bit sketchy.
Website, professional link to contact them at, portfolio. Like, make sure everything is legit before you agree to shoot with somebody.
Yes, especially before you meet, not even just photographers, just anyone in general.
True.
Before you meet with anyone. And honestly, even if, like, for example, if I shoot with photographers, I am 20 years old, but I still go with my mom.
Yeah.
As you should.
As
you should.
Bring somebody, especially as a young girl in the modeling industry.
Never go alone.
Never.
Period.
Even auditions, you know?
I was a young boy one time in New York, and I went to auditions alone, go on up like you guys were talking about. And I can tell, I'm not going to tell you the stories that I actually had to deal with back in the day. So I hate saying it. Nothing's changed.
Yeah, nothing's changed. And honestly, it's probably worse.
Yeah, buddy system always.
Always. My mom is my buddy. Yeah. And power numbers, guys. Power numbers. Like, I just...
And it's a shame.
It is.
Because
it is.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, you, out of good intention, you want to trust everyone. And you kind of want to have that, like... You don't want to go in having a negative, like, outlook on someone. That's never good. That's not very nice. But it's the world we live in. You always have to go in with that in the back of your head of, like, okay, let me, you know, I don't know this person. I've never met this person. They don't really know anyone that I know. Because sometimes, for example, the photographer you asked me about, I've worked with him. He's a super cool guy. I've told you, and you kind of have that to, like, base it off of.
Exactly.
But if you don't know the person and no one that you know knows the person, you really have to be very careful, because they could be the nicest person on earth or they could not be, and that's just how it is.
Exactly. Yeah, especially in the young female industry.
Yes.
Specifically.
100%.
Always take someone with you.
Please.
Yes.
All right. Now, let's wrap it up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Final question, 1 minute.
Okay.
Okay. Go. Speed round.
Where do you go from here?
Oh God. I mean, that's a very big question. I barely.
We like both start crying.
I don't know. I'm like,
That was direct.
I'm figuring it out day by day. I definitely, my plan has always been college. That's always been a very consistent thing in my life. I've, done so many things that I've always, school's been very important to me. I've always wanted to, have a degree, have all that stuff, just in case all else fails, that's there. I love what I'm doing. I love what I'm studying. I'm studying marketing. I plan to eventually, work in the fashion or beauty industry for something in marketing in that sense. That's what I want to be, a big businesswoman. But that's in my far future. I think in my near future, just, focus on that social media. Try and motivate myself again. I've been lacking in motivation. So kind of, a lot has changed in my life recently. So I kind of just want to take this as a high road. A lot has changed. So I want to.
You made last one. We're going to cut this real quick, but you said social media made me look at you guys here, and I started thinking, I'm like, what people don't understand in the past year, call it or less, is the money in social media is so much better.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Just you don't have to say the details.
Yeah,
but
it is. It is. I mean,
it's kind of sad. Almost.
It's sad the amount of money that is in the industry in social media. It's almost unfair.
It's 100% unfair because this is something we work at. This is our profession. This is our job.
Yeah.
And
but it's also knowing where to look because I mean, for example, the TikTok Creator Fund, realistically, it's not great.
Yeah.
What you're getting paid for is those brand deals, those working with the companies, all that stuff. That's where the money is, and it's a lot of it. Yeah. So it's really just knowing how to, I guess, communicate with those brands. Have self-worth. Don't underestimate like what you're worth. I have that problem where I'm like, the company's like, oh, we'll pay you this, and I'm like, okay, and you have to kind of have a I guess like a self boundary, be like, okay,
don't sell yourself short.
Yes. I was like trying to think of what to say, but like don't sell yourself short. You're worth more than that, and there's always a place to start. Of course, you're not gonna start and ask for like $5,000. That's not how this works. But
keep it in perspective.
Keep it in perspective. But of course,
unless you're on my TikTok and you're getting,
we can't all be Chef Vic.
Exactly. Shout out. But yeah, definitely don't sell yourself short. If you think that you're worth more, a company is going to offer you that, and it's definitely don't do something because you're like, oh no, but like something like if you don't see yourself working with that brand because for whatever reason, don't do it. There's no point, because at the end of the day, you're going to be creating content that you're not proud of.
That's true.
And yeah, that happens to me a lot. I make things because I'm like, oh, I have to do it. And at the end of the day, it shouldn't have to feel like a job. At the end of the day, it is a job. It is. But it shouldn't have to feel like one. You should be able to enjoy what you're doing, be proud of what you're making. And
that is the key.
Yeah. At the end of the day, like, you have to enjoy it.
Stay true to yourself.
Stay true to yourself.
Don't get lost in it.
Don't get lost in it. Just don't get lost in it because of the money.
Yeah.
There's no point.
Or the validation from strictly social media. Don't get lost in the validation of comments. We both get a lot of positive feedback. Of course.
Yes.
But there's also those. You have to discount that as well.
Yes. You can't get full of yourself.
Don't pay attention to the negative and don't pay attention to the positive. Just do what you do because that is what you are doing because you enjoy it.
And I feel like there's always, we were literally talking about this the other day. Some parents think that their kids are like on top of the world, which is so amazing. Love that for you. But, I think there's also, you have to stay humble, stay true to yourself. Don't overdo it.
Don't overdo it, please.
It's literally okay if you're not perfect. Nobody is perfect. Nobody is perfect. So, except for you. You're pretty perfect.
Good job, Dad.
You're pretty perfect. But yeah, no one is a perfect human being. Everyone has their problems that you don't see. No one is gonna show you the bad. No, like no one's gonna do that.
No.
And especially on social media.
Exactly.
People
they're
aren't
gonna
like,
they're gonna paint this amazing picture of their life, and that's just not how it is. So don't go into it thinking that you're gonna get all this amazing fame out of it. Go into it very humbled. Go into it, not humbled. That's not the word, because we don't like to be humbled here. That's not nice. But just go into it with a good mindset. Be yourself. Don't try and be someone you're not. Don't try and copy other people. You can take inspiration, but don't try and copy other people, because at the end of the day, that's not going to get you anywhere. So be true to yourself.
Yeah. Authenticity is key.
Exactly. Slay.
Slay. Of course.
any final notes, Jay?
I don't know. I mean,
I know we could go on for we could go on for hours.
Same, so it's like
you guys have known each other for a million years. I will. You know what? I have a feeling this is going to be a part 1 of part 2. So because there's a lot more.
We could say more.
But I do want to say something that I'm very blessed. Jade has she has the unfortunate problem of having to be around me as her dad.
Yes,
You've been around, and
yes, I have.
as the other daughter.
Yes, the other daughter. And I love you both. You know this. And
Valeria Collazo.
and I just want to say, that's the key, is just the smiles, the moments we're having, and I love just even being an observer of this right now. Watching the two of you has brought such great energy and warmth to me, because I've watched you grow up, and that is the thing where, like you said before, with the parents, you see this, and I see some, this industry is a marathon. It is not a sprint.
It is a long journey.
It's a long game.
It's a long
think you're
journey.
gonna.
You will probably. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's
just the stutters. We're just like, no.
Because half the time you probably won't even get your big break. You'll probably just get a couple mini breaks, and that sometimes is enough for For me, that's enough. I mean, God forbid, I would love to be Zendaya, but it's not always like that, and that's okay. You don't have to be the most successful human being ever to have success.
Yeah, find joy in what you're doing right now.
Exactly.
Do it for the love of it.
Do it for the love of it. Do not do it for the money, for the fame, because you're just gonna get lost in it, and you're not actually gonna do it because you love it. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing.
Yeah, I will agree.
There is nothing more I can say.
There we go. We said it all. We used all of the words.
Yeah,
I'm
empty.
There's no words left for anyone. We did it.
So
we did that.
Who's closing it out?
It's your podcast.
It's your
Why do you look at me and her like
you guys
that?
have done so great. I don't need to close.
He's like, okay, so end it.
I'm like, who's running this thing?
Babu.
I got you guys.
Okay,
Thank
come on.
you.
Oh, I never say like, subscribe. I'm so bad, because they say if like statistically you're like subscribe, like, and all that. And I literally have zero shits given. I'm doing this for everybody.
We're just saying bye?
No, you need to give me the whole thing. Come on, you're the social media rock star now.
Okay.
What? Please say it. I'm getting yelled at by Paloma. Please say it. Okay. Hey, if you guys enjoyed this, I want you to hit that subscribe button somewhere here. And that being said, I'm really bad at this. I can't believe I just said those words. Kind of in pain.
Comment, subscribe, repost, do all the things.
And the repost.
and now say it to that camera.
And put it on X and Threads. And
comment, subscribe, repost.
No, better energy. Come on, dude. I
Sorry.
feel it. Come on, this is
comment, repost.
Bring that energy up.
My fault. I'm just.
You know what? I think you've done. I think
comment,
you're good.
She ran out of voice.
Subscribe, repost, do all the things. Send it to your grandma. Send it to your cat. Send it to your dog. Send it to your boyfriend. Whoever your person is, send it to them.
Luke.
Send it to Luke.
At Luke Nappy.
At Luke
Send
Nappy.
It to Luke.
Look, he's not even talking on the mic anymore. He's like,
he's so over this episode.
Alrighty. Well, I think we talked about a lot of good stuff.
You
guys
no,
so
you
much for having me.
Oh my God.
Thank you.
That's it.
Bye.
Thank you.
And that is a wrap, guys.
Woohoo! Bye. Toodles. Love
my
baby.
God,
Yippee.
so amazing.
I know. Yeah.